Hi, my name is Michael Durant, CEO of the Media Division here at Smith Durant and co-founder of Creating Genius, personal branding agency. Well, one of the key things that we want to talk about today is what are you doing with your personal brand and how are you bringing it to market that makes sense for your audience, for the niche that you're going for, and how do you begin to close more deals? How do you begin to get more doors open? And how do you become the influencer within that niche? It's not easy. There's a lot of noise out there. And the best way for you to do that is for you to realize who you truly are. A lot of times we get individuals that have already started building everything. They're already making some progress. They already have sales, but they know there's some new doors they actually have to get in. So one of the number one things you need to make sure is that you define who you are. And what that means is you need to not just come up with a mission and a vision. You need to know what your own culture is. Because there's companies that are going to connect with you. There's going to be individuals and product lines that connect with you. And there's going to be some that don't. And you got to be able to be okay with that you're not going to be for everybody. Stop trying to save the world. Save the few that really connects with who you are. If you don't know the heartbeat of your business, then that means you're trying to fit to the market instead of you being you, and the market's going to fit to, is going to connect with you. So key thing, number one thing is that you need to figure out who you are. The next thing that you want to do is to make sure that you hear this all the time where people say you have to define your why. Defining your why, defining your why is so important because you need to know why you're doing everything. If you're chasing the money, you're putting the cart before the horse. So for example, one of my personal mission is to bring imagination to reality. And what that means to me is when I sit down with someone, literally I see pictures. When people tell me about an idea, a product, a business, I see pictures in my mind. So I see what's in their imagination, and my job is to see how to pull that out and bring it to reality. The second phase of that is how do I bring their genius? How do I help them release that genius? A lot of times people believe a genius is born or they were born a genius. Not true. A genius is released. It's about who they allow in their lives alongside of them to help them see what they cannot see and help them fine tune what's already there. So think about this. What is your why? Who are you trying to help? So make sure when you're doing your why has to be very clear that people know what that means. So when you start to talk it, it comes from here. So when you get your why, that why is going to give you the ability to be able to create a core message. And in that core message, that's actual content developed in a voice. For instance, one of our voices, look, we want to teach you, we want to educate you, we want to show you everything, but you don't have to go with us. Our voice is straightforward, and it is what it is. You can accept it or you cannot. So when we put stuff out there, we don't want to talk too fluffy, but we want to talk in a way that makes people feel good about working with us. But you can take it or leave it. Why? Because we want chemistry. And by us having chemistry, we can make sure we can have a good relationship. And if there's no chemistry, hey, maybe we can help you find someone else. And you have to find that core message so that you can be able to say those things. Now, what are you offering? This is one thing that we do here differently at Smith Durant in our new line of Creating Genius as an agency in business development. Creating Genius, we've merged the two worlds together. We've merged the two worlds together of creative as well as business development. Because a lot of times we've had clients that put together beautiful presentations and they didn't have the business model down. So what I say with this is that you should know what you're actually offering. And that should be very clear. So if you are, say for instance, you're a corporate speaker or a corporate trainer, what are you actually offering when you walk in? One of our clients, she was a former CFO of one of the major gaming companies here. She created what we call the culture of execution. That was her focus. That was everything that she was, the culture of execution. It was all about executing whatever project, whatever department, whatever had to be done, that was her focus. And what that means is the creating of systems. And that service, when she walked in, she had packages that you can either hire her for an hour for the full length of the project, or you can hire for sections. And it's very easy to make a better sale or to close a deal when they're very clear what you do. and it must make sense to the point of purchase. You know, I will say this, some people ask me, clients ask me all the time, should I put my prices up? I say it's up to you. I always feel like this, if you know what my starting rate is, it's going to alleviate kind of the looky-loos. Look, if you know I start at $5,000 to come out, then when you call, we're no longer really negotiating. We're just trying to see if I'm going to be able to bring to you what is necessary. And at a high level, you want to be very clear and very transparent with people on your pricing and your offering. So the next thing is, who are you trying to reach? What we do here, both on the personal branding side and the business side, is we say, what is your top 25? Who is the top 25 companies that you are actually interested in working with? Don't follow the money. Follow the passion, because what's going to happen is when it's all said and done, if you get a project and it's not going as well, if it's part of your passion, you're going to find a way to work it. If it's not, you're going to try to find the closest door out. So make sure that your segment, your market segment, your target market is very clear. Now, a lot of people just look at target market based off of age and gender. You need a buyer persona. If you've never heard of buyer persona, look it up. We do that here at Creating Genius, is that we create a buyer persona. And you can have from 1 to 11 different buyer personas. And that buyer persona needs to be one individual. Each one of those buyer persona needs to be one individual. So one of our doctors, we said, okay, we need to create a buyer persona. And the first one is going to be a female. She is 44 years old. She averages about, well, her pay is right about 150, 160,000. She's a traveler. She shops at Neiman Marcus, and she drives a Maserati. So that buyer persona is like you're talking to one individual. So what happens with a buyer persona is now you've created that. When you put marketing together, it's now very clear who you're talking to. You're not trying to talk to everybody. You're talking to that one particular individual. And what's going to happen, what a lot of people don't realize, is that the big companies, I know because I've been at those tables, they focus on the individual, because if you focus on the individual, Facebook has proved it, that there's a niche. There's a category that comes from that. We've ran magazines. One of our magazines, we had to get our actual statistic reports on who was our target market. So we had to literally cross-reference 2 popular magazines that we felt strong about. And what they did is sent us back this thick book of all these demographics broken down by category. And they were all based off of individuals. And this was a $5,000 service, and that was the low end of it. And that's the reason I'm saying that is because you have to realize that for you to know your target market, you have to be very clear on who you're talking to. Because think about it this way. I heard this said before. If you're selling a book on mushrooms and you're throwing a chapter there on onions, you're going to lose your mushroom lovers. Why? Because they feel like you're trying to reach everybody. What you should be doing is focusing on mushrooms, and maybe you can throw a recipe in on using onions, but you should never lose the focus of the mushrooms. Why? Because truly at the end of the day, your target market is a lifestyle and it's a culture. So think about that. When you're coming up with your target market and your demographic and who, make sure you know exactly who you want to talk to. So, I hope y'all love my sock monkey cup. My kids gave it to me, and I love it. You have to decide on what type of personal brand you're going to put together and you're going to bring to market. So here we created what we call the wow, the credibility, and the influence. So the wow factor is for those that are breaking into, say, for instance, more of the entertainment, where they have to put packaging together that is very appealing. Say, for instance, you were in radio and you had this new show. Yeah, no one sees you, but when you promote that show, you want people to be wowed by your presentation. The wow factor has to be that stellar. It has to be that red carpet feel. And not saying that it has to be all glamour and glitz, but it has to pop. It has to pop. And when you can bring that type of level of presentation, then people are appealed. You need to appeal to them. Then we have the credibility. Now, usually we do the credibility side for those that have been in corporate America, or they're doctors and they're trying to bring to an audience that they are exactly who they say they are. They can do exactly what they say they can do, and they are the best at it. For instance, think about if you are a founder, you may want to approach investors. You have to put a pitch together. They're going to look you up. They're going to look you up online. So I hope your brand narrative online is very strong. And if you don't know what a brand narrative is, think about your brand reputation, your online reputation. They're going to go and look at your LinkedIn. They're going to look at Facebook. Even if you're not on Facebook for business sake, they're going to look at you personally. So I always tell people, be careful what you post on Facebook. Be careful what you put out in the social media world. Because, as they say, your representatives show up to this company when they go and see you online, they're like, this is not who we thought he was. Next. And part of your credibility is you may want to write for some top magazines or online, become a columnist for some top online platform that's in your industry, because that's going to make you more credible. And then we have the influencer. These are the people that are authors. They have new ideas. They're trying to disrupt something. They're trying to bring a new idea into the marketplace. Those are the thought leaders that are truly bringing an idea more defined with some new ways of looking at it. It's almost like saying, we've been used to looking at it this way. They said, turn it this way and tilt it. Now look at it this way. So as an influencer, you have to be bringing something to the market that causes people to be influenced to change. So make sure that you're deciding as you're putting together your personal brand, is it going to be a wow? Is it going to be for credibility? Or is it going to influence? And sometimes you can put all those together. Now, at the end of all of this, I'm going to say this to you, and I'm not going to draw this out. Your presentation should match your credibility, should match that wow factor, should match that influence. If you've spent years of hard work focusing on your career, now it's time for you to do your thing. Don't shortcut on investing in yourself to bring it to the level that it deserves to be. If you are, you've put all this money in going to school, getting these degrees, PhDs, whatever it may be, and you come out and you want to shortcut yourself because you don't want to spend any money on your website, on your PowerPoint presentations, your creative material, the video, the story video, telling people about what you do. If you shortcut these things, you're shortcutting all that hard work, all those long nights. So at this point, I say make sure you invest in yourself. We would love to be a company that can help you do that. And if not, find someone that can. Find someone that matches you. I say this all the time. Chemistry in the creative world and business with clients has to be like a musician and a great producer. That producer and that musician has to match. If they don't, no matter what they do, the music's not going to flow. It's not going to feel real. There has to be a connection that makes them become a in sync piece of defined harmony. And without it, it's just a bunch of noise. So I hope this helped you. Like I said, we're going to have many more of those, many more of these to come in. We're going to do our best not to script these. And as if you want to, you can email me. You can email me directly at mdurant@smithdurant.com, mdurant@smithdurant.com, and ask me any questions that you want. And if you want an opportunity to sit down and get on a Skype call or come in and meet, even just go have a cup of coffee. We try to keep it as casual as possible. Why? Because we love what we do. And we want to work with people that love what they do. So we want to continue to teach you that your identity, who you are, your genius, has to be released. And I hope that you take the time to invest in yourself and live in the world of what if. And that world is what if you pour everything you can into who you are and bring it to the world. Why? Because they deserve it. Until next time, this is Michael Durant, the Smith Durant, and Creating Genius. Life's a canvas, y'all, so paint away.